How should I deal with a woman who constantly wants to feel offended or argue over texts? She constantly wants to feel offended? It's like she's seeking it out. Here's what you do. You can do two things. You can entertain it or you can ignore it. That's really you want my permission? You can entertain it or you can ignore it. Is it going to be exhausting to you? Yeah, drama, right? Thanks, Dan. Is it going to be exhausting to you? Yeah, it probably will be exhausting to you. However, women always want indignation. Would you like me to give you the indignation chapter of my first book? Because it's in there. Women need indignation. They seek it out. And in its absence, they will produce it. They will actively manufacture indignation when they don't get enough of it. If you ever wondered why shows like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, you ever wonder why that show is in its 26th season? Because women have a biological, innate, evolved need to feel offended, to feel, oh my God, my stars and garters, that whole shit, that whole response stuff, what's going to happen next? That's indignation. And there's a need for that. And it kind of tracks back to, I've done these episodes before. I try to give you the briefest version of this, but indignation is something that women all need. They want it from, whether it's from the TV or it's a romance novel or it's from living vicariously through their girlfriends. It is a need for women because women communicate differently than guys do. So it comes back to how women have evolved to communicate one way and men have evolved to communicate another way. Well, the thing is women love, don't ever let them tell you anything else. Women love indignation. There have been, let's see, I would say daytime drama, soap operas have been built around one principle, that indignation sells to women, and it always will sell to women. And the reason for that is because women's filter, women will call it the feminine intuition, really, but it's really the hypergamous filter. And what that filter is meant to do is to figure out if this guy's for real. Is he really an alpha? Is he really an attorney? Or is he a sandwich artist at Subway? I got to find this out. In the micro, it might be a girl meets a guy at a club and trying to figure that on her own. In a more satisfying sense, it might be a novel. It might be the Bachelor. Who's going to get the rose, right? It might be, reality TV or whatever. It might be literature. It might be a song even. It might be her living vicariously through her girlfriends. You want to know why social media is so addictive to women. That's why, because it feeds the indignation need of women. And the reason for that is because in our evolutionary past, if a woman couldn't use her intuition and her sort of we want to call it some sort of mystical power. In fact, we raised it to this sort of woo-woo magical, level. It's not. It's just women need that indignation, and they have evolved psychological mechanisms over their firmware over the years so that they could determine whether a guy is really who he says he is and he's not. That's why when guys cop to something, that's why when guys go, oh, you got me. I'm really a player. I'm a scoundrel. I'm not really a good guy. That's why women hate nice guys, by the way, because the filter is always looking to and wants to say, he's really not nice. He's just, he's just trying to find here it is.
Every time a man's being nice to you, all he's doing is offering dick.
The reason that's funny. Thank you, Chris Rock. The reason that's funny, women love indignation. That's why. To find out whether that guy's just offering dick or he's really trying to be nice. And Chris spells it out for us.